Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with eyebrow microblading. For those of you who don't know, microblading is a type of permanent cosmetic that works to enhance the natural brow that someone already has. It's basically the modern version of tattooing your eyebrows, but it just looks, like I said, a lot more natural. The reason why I decided to go and get my brows microbladed is because of years of dental work, side sleeping and a whole bunch of other stuff. My face had become uneven and one side was drooping more than the other. This caused my eyebrows to be uneven, so makeup looked uneven. If I wore glasses or sunglasses, you could really tell. One brow was way higher than the other one, this one was higher. And so I decided that I was going to try microblading to see if it could fix this issue. The first thing I did when I had decided to try microblading is, well, the first thing I did before I even decided to try it was Google to see if microblading could be something that could alleviate my issue. And I found out that it was. I pretty much then and there decided to do it, to go ahead. And so I found my lady who did them by Googling microblading Regina, which is where I live. And I looked at all the different companies in the city that offer this service, and I decided to go with the one that I chose because her Instagram looked really good, her Google reviews were really good, and her price was pretty much in line with what the average was for Regina. My biggest piece of advice, that if you are going to do something like this, if the majority of the companies and people doing something in a city are $600 and then someone comes in and they're going to charge you $1,000, then that's crazy. And if someone's charging $200 for something that the majority is charging $800 for, then that's a big discrepancy. Because of those three things, her prices, her Instagram, and her Google reviews all being good and in line with what else I was seeing, I decided to go ahead and book an appointment for Thursday, August 6th at 10 o'clock. My appointment started out by, I went in there and I signed a waiver. Basically the waiver just said that if I, didn't like it or whatever, then it's not my lady's fault. That she would do everything she could to fix it if I didn't like it, but if, just like a regular waiver. And then I also had to sign off that I wasn't taking any blood thinners or certain medications, and that I would do the aftercare properly. I just kind of sat down and I explained to her that my eyebrows were uneven and that I didn't really care what they looked like as long as they weren't uneven anymore. She said that she would do her best to make them even without making them too thick. So she got this little crayon thing and basically drew them out. And then we checked it, double checked it, redrew a few lines, and then once that was ready, we started numbing. The numbing is just a little gel that she puts on. I don't know, I had read online that microblading is an uncomfortable experience but not a painful one. I did not have that experience. I thought it hurt a lot. Probably the most painful thing I've done in my life. To be honest, it hurt so much. The first appointment is about an hour and a half. I was out just before 11:30. And the majority of that appointment is actually the drawing, the numbing, the pigment afterwards, and the conversation. The actual microblading takes probably about 10 minutes of that. So basically what she did is she made little scratches on my skin, put the numbing on, and then she did the cuts. And so the cuts were little eyebrow hairs kind of that went all the way down my brows, and then so when those cuts were done, she put on some pigment, bobbed it on basically and let it sit. I don't know how long, I think 2 minutes maybe. She let it sit and then she wiped it off, and then she did the smaller hairs and then did the same thing, and obviously the same thing for both brows. All in all, it probably took me, like I said, about an hour and a half to get the first appointment done, and then you have to go back for a 6-week touch-up. And so that came around, it was on September 17th, and I got just a touch up basically. We redrew the shape, she asked me if I had had any issues. I thought that they were a little bit light, and so we, you know, just did the whole process over again, and that just helps to lock in more pigment. So the healing process for my microblading was, it was kind of a struggle. Like, it wasn't like hard or anything. Basically the first 2 days you put polysporin on and Vaseline, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's pretty much all you do the whole time for aftercare. You just can't get them wet for a really long time, and the peeling looks really like weird. I'll try to insert some pictures. I took a bunch of pictures, but I'll try to insert them. Peeling looks really weird, and they also look really dark for the first bit. Like the second and third day after actually getting them microbladed, they looked really dark, and because you put Vaseline on to keep the place moisturized, they look greasy too. And then they stop peeling. So literally pieces of, like, I don't know what it is, like skin, I'm not sure, like, comes off, and it takes a bit of the pigment with it. I didn't have like much scarring, I didn't have much bleeding either, and so that, like, the healing process is really good. You just look funny, like, it doesn't hurt or anything, you just look funny. The biggest problem that I had with the healing process was not being able to get them wet. You don't really think about, like, how much your brows actually get wet, like in the shower or when you're washing your face, until you can't get them wet. So I actually showered as little as possible, which was okay because I wasn't working, and I wasn't, like, we're not in school, so it didn't really matter, but it just kind of, like, it made me feel kind of grubby. But other than that, the healing process was really quick and really simple. I got them the touch-up on the 17th of September, and it's October 4th today, or October 5th, and they're already completely healed. Like, I'm putting makeup on them, I'm getting them wet, completely healed. Okay, so that was my microblading experience. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and have a really good day.